my buddy Chad hit me up. He helped me paint the Nova, and he needed some help on his Mustang. I'm going to show you guys this real quick. I don't know. I'll probably throw this in one of my other videos, but got to help a buddy out. So what we figured out is he had like this problem with the driveline hitting some of the body and some of the drive shaft tunnel. And we threw a tape measure on the motor, and the crank bolt was centered, but the tail shaft was offset. So the motor was sitting here crooked. So I was like, well, we just need to pull this out and cut this. So we cut all these supports out and cut the transmission mount off back there, cleaned everything up. So he's coming over this morning. We did this yesterday. We slotted the mid plate. Mid plate needs to go that way. So I guess the motor would have been sitting like this. So he had a bad vibration, and he's got a pretty bitchin' Raptor-headed big block Chevy in here for this season. So we just need to move the back over. We were messing around with the mid plate and the front motor plate. We put 1/2 inch of spacer on this side, and it still wasn't straight. One of the things we were running into, we needed to actually trim some material off the mid plate because it was over and hitting the frame rail. Now you can have a motor offset in the chassis, but it has to be straight. That way the working angle of the drive shaft would be the same. If the pinion's pointed straight and the motor was offset to one side or the other, you'd have the same working angle diagonal. You know, most people talk about drive shaft angle this way, but drive shaft angle this way is no good. It is okay if the motor's straight in the chassis. It could be offset. Like I said, it would have the same working angle on the U-joint if the drive shaft was a little crooked like this. But if you have it where the transmission's fucking pointed crooked and then the drive shaft's crooked off of that, dude, all bad. So anyway, we blew this apart. We made it a big mess, and we're gonna fix this deal up. Should be able to, our thought is just get a laser the rear end all the way forward, get the laser centered, run it off the back of the crank, and then we'll drop a plumb bob down off the crank bolt and get this thing centered, and then tack, and then pull the motor back out, weld it all, and then put the tranny in for the finishing touch and weld the mount and pull the tranny back out, but it has to come out from the inside of the car. So anyway, we're going to get this deal all dialed in. Thanks for following along. All right, you can see from this video how much we moved this side. That was supposed to be 6 inches. There's a couple action shots of me welding these bars back in. That's about all that we got. All right, so my buddy Chad's car, we cut this whole support out, and there's a lower mount on the front plate. This mount, so the engine ended up being crooked. The front crank bolt was centered, but the tail shaft was 3/4 of an inch off. And they had a horrible vibration. We measured everything. So we ended up cutting this mount out, lower mount. This mount is, I think we figured 1/4 of an inch back. I made some marks on the frame and cut this one out. And this one ended up being like almost 1/2 inch forward. It's back centered, but the guy that built this must have measured off of the front frame rail. And so I made some lines and measured, and I'm guessing this frame rail is just longer or shorter than the other side. So we had to cut the tranny mount off. We had to mess with the mid plate, and we lasered everything. Found some good measurements in there. So Chad and Trevin helped me today, and then I helped them. We all just busted our butt and got this thing dialed in. So had to have the motor and tranny out like 3 times each, 4 times. I mean, getting here, tack everything back out of our way. So I didn't get any action photos, but turned out nice. Now they're ready to go racing. So sometimes you got to stop what you're doing and help a friend. Got a couple of little action photos. That's all I got. Posting those up, and yeah. Until next time. All right, smash that like button and subscribe.